Hello and good afternoon, everybody. This is James Berry. I'm here on the chopping block. I got Harrison here with me, and we are joined today with Nick from the band Weak13. How's everybody doing today?
Fine to be here. Nick J. Townsend here on time. Just about.
It's good to have you on here today, Nick. You are out in the UK, and what
The
part are
area
you
we're
in?
from is kind of like near Birmingham. For your listeners, I'm actually part of an area called the Black Country. Birmingham and Black Country are pretty much a 20 mile radius. We're in there somewhere. So we're from the home of heavy metal, I suppose you want to call it, something like that.
All right. So, your band Weak13. Tell us a little bit about it.
We I'll just dive in first. Like we're a rock band, we're a punk band, we're a metal band. I don't know what you call it, but it's a band. But it's all those things. And I grew up with a lot of the things that a lot of people liked. Like the grunge music scene, the post-punk scene. I grew up with a lot of the same bands a lot of other people did, and I had something to say as well. A lot of the things I had to say weren't being said. So somebody had to say them. So I had to write about it. And then it came to making an album, like actually going into a studio and being a professional and spending ridiculous amounts of money which you can't afford to make something happen, to go, hey, I'm a real guy. Look, here's an album. And when people go, oh, you're a real band, because you've got a real album, good luck. Well done. Yeah. And I mean, you go, well, let's make some more. What you got more things to say? Like, yeah. I got more things to say. I've got they're called songs. I've got more songs to write, and you just get people listening to what you say. I'm quite fortunate. In 2010, we the lineup was very successful as far as working together. We made an album. We made a double album. Only came out last year, and I'm working on the third album. And now people are starting to take notice of what we're doing. And I don't know. I'm a musician, probably like you guys. Just that loves music, and I think people like what we do.
Right on. Yeah, I've been a musician for almost 40 years now. Uh it can be a tough lifestyle to be in sometimes.
Well, I never asked for a comfortable journey. I just wanted to sort of make music, but it is a very erratic career choice, if you want to call it a career. But there's rewards that come with it. I'm grateful for the fact that I'm able to do this kind of thing. I'm sure as a musician, you're basically like a superhero. Let's face it, because you can create a song or really badass riff, and that's what normal people can't do. They just have to listen to it, right? So people like you, James, and me, we just make music, and we have superpowers. So some superheroes are better than others. Some are evil, some are good. I think I'm all right.
Yeah, it can be like a superpower, especially when you walk into a party with a guitar.
Well, I hope to headline that party.
Yep.
We get as many gigs as we can these days.
Well, even when you're not playing a gig, if you're just hanging out and somebody says, "Hey, come over, hang out for a little while, bring your guitar," and then you go in there and everybody stops and looks at you and everybody automatically assumes you can play every song in the world as soon as they see you holding a guitar.
Yeah, that's a lie. Because, well, for me anyway, I could do sit on the dock of the bay and a few others, but other than Weak13 songs, they're pretty much all I know.
Yeah. So, how did y'all's band get started? Tell us a little bit about the other members and stuff.
Well, the current members now are different to when I first started. And I've got to admit, I started it. Yeah, I'm not going to pretend I'm the guy that came up with it. But I met up with a guy called Jim. And I was at college. We got on really well. When you meet loads of other people, we were a six-piece band at one point, and a five-piece, and a four-piece, and a three-piece, and a five-piece, and a six-piece. It was all a bit crazy until about 2010, and I got two other guys um, stick with me for a good decade, and one of those guys has had to go, and my drummer and me, that's Neil, and I'm Nick. We're still in this. He's been with us now for 16 years, and working on the third album. And we got a new bass player now called Derek. And we are independent, and I've done a lot for the independent music scene. I've also been I was the editor of independent music magazines for quite a few years, and I get loads of bands I liked on the front cover, and I get the festival slot. I'm also I can't say this. I'm a multi-award nominated and winning filmmaker as well. So I've done music videos for most of my friends' bands, because most bands I get on with are my friends. So I'm pretty good with the camera. I can say that now because I've got awards. Not that I give a fuck about them, but like I'm good at what I do. So because of that, I can give my friends pretty good music videos, which sells them, which is a horrible word to use, but you have to sell it. Thing you do. If you write a song, you have to sell it. It has to have a really good piece of artwork. Has to have a really good title. Has to have a really good music video. You need a good band photograph and all this kind of semiotic and all this other stuff. If you've got an eye for art, it's important. And the music industry, elites, are way ahead. They've been doing this for years, so it's just a normal formula they work to. And I've been helping a lot of underground musicians, independent musicians, get their shit together. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I make loads of mistakes, but I'm always willing to learn because I don't know everything, and as a result, I grow. And I'm trying to make sure lots of other artists are growing with me. And there's different musicians I'm meeting via radio stations like yourselves, where I'm on the station with other bands, and I get into their music. So what happens is I make friends with people in different countries. Their music inspires me, and vice versa. So we're creating a bigger family. I guess that's the word.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Where was it going?
y'all have things a whole lot differently the way things actually happen and the way y'all do things out in the UK than we have here in the US. Here in the US, it's a struggle as a musician. I don't know if it's the same way out there, but uh, it can it can take a toll on you because there's so many people in the U.S. that are trying to be musicians, and for the most part, a lot of the bands that start to make it big are the ones that you're like, this music really isn't that good, and the ones that have really good music are struggling to even be heard.
Oh, you've pointed out the obvious there. The one thing which everyone's afraid to talk about, the fact that lots of the rich kids have rich parents who may or may not be CEOs of Warner Brothers or
Yeah,
EMI or global, I don't know, corporations that happen to have music businesses. And they go, "Hey, son," or "Hey, daughter, would you like I don't know, 200 date tour supporting Metallica?" Yeah, yeah, why not? Yeah, you're 16, you've earned it. Like, and you're independent artists has to really just build themselves up with a reputation, and they're always the underdogs. It's just as hard in the UK. I'm not going to say it's hard because I don't know. I have been to the US 5 or 6 times myself. I went to LA in 2014 and Hollywood and started networking and getting to know people over at your side. And I noticed in LA, you've got your um, a scene within a scene. There are people on Sunset Strip who will do all the working men's clubs, and they'll try and get there. We're playing at Sunset Boulevard at the Hail Mary venue, and it's going to be great. We're in Hollywood, come to our gig, and they're selling it to hoping tourists will come, because the only other people there are the people in LA, and they're all trying to make it as well. They're not going to go. So they've only got people who might accidentally walk into that pub. Oh, we're in Hollywood. Let's check this little place out. Look, there's a little bar, there's a little local band. Yeah, and it's like, look, yeah, we're in LA, and you kind of realize you could be anywhere really. You're just as vulnerable trying to do a local show in Hollywood as if you're in Ireland, in Cork, trying to do a show at a local pub. You got just as much chance of getting 20 people at a show as you have in LA, and you've got
Yeah.
5,000 shows happening in LA at any one week, I imagine. And Whiskey a Go Go and the Viper Room and the Rainbow are pretty much within throwing up distance of each other, and they're the only venues that people outside the US have even heard of. And one's actually a bar and grill place now. One's where somebody got stabbed. I can't remember, related to Johnny Depp or a friend. I don't know. Someone famous got stabbed there. That's why everybody remembers it. And the other's a Whiskey a Go Go, which is basically in business because people have sentimental um, memories of what happened during the glam scene. So, oh yeah, Motley Crue were there, Poison was there, yeah, yes, Lemmy was there, and they sort of, it's a tourism trap. People go to that part of Sunset, see Whiskey a Go Go to say they've been there, and
Yeah.
it's identical to a venue in the UK, which I'm not going to say the name of this venue because it doesn't deserve my respect. But there's a UK venue that does pretty much the same kind of thing, based in North. Actually, I will say what it is. It's the Cavern Club in Liverpool. And they go, come to the Cavern Club. You know, we play at the Cavern Club. Yeah, so did the Beatles. And no one gives a shit if you play at the Cavern Club, really, because the Beatles played there. And it's like you're saying, we play the Cavern Club. You might as well, we're better than the Beatles. No, you're not. Number one, half of them are dead, and they're millionaires, billionaires, and stuff. That you know, you haven't got a house tap. They've got such a head start. You think getting a Cavern Club gig is going to really get anyone's attention? They made the Cavern Club famous, technically. So you've got to find some shitty venue and make that famous. If you have a rich dad that works for EMI and Warner Brothers, that'll give you a 200-day tour of Metallica, if you're lucky. Yeah. Or you could just
Yeah.
work hard like you and me do.
Yep. And those of us that don't have rich families that were able to buy us into the mainstream network, we do have to work our asses off just to be able to even get a glimpse of what those mainstream bands see.
Yeah, it is a glimpse. I'll tell you one thing about rich people. Rich people get bored. And if you notice that some of these really successful artists, they have to do the 60-day tour, European tour, this kind of stuff. They have to do lots of music videos. Now, after a bit, if you notice, after 3 years, they're kind of like, yeah, we've got these, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 number ones, right? We might just take a bit of a break now. The way is that, yes, they've made their money, but they actually want to enjoy spending it because they're upper class toffs. That's what they are. They want to sit in their swimming pool. We don't want to go on tour. They thought, well, we've done all that. We've done the videos. We've done the press stuff. We want to actually enjoy the money that we've ripped people off with our shit songs. Yeah, we want to actually just sit in the jacuzzi. We don't want to go on tour. We don't want to talk to fans. No, we want to sit in our jacuzzi for about a year. Of course, when they do that, they actually stop practicing the guitar, and they're not like doing all their vocal warm-ups unless they're in the jacuzzi. Yeah, but they're not going to do that. They're just going to be in the jacuzzi drinking vodka, and unless they get a slap from their rich parents like Motley Crue did, say, "Come on, wake up! Nirvana have started and they've killed your scene. You're going to have to be grunge now." What? Give me the vodka back, mom. Yeah, it's like, no, you're going to have to dress up like Pearl Jam now. and then reinvent yourself. Yeah, because all the other glam bands died. Guns N' Roses were kind of steamrolled through the glam scene. Somehow got recognised by the grunge scene. Came out the other side and sort of died, and then came back again. But they had lastability, so people talk about them now, so they can reunite just so that Axl Rose can walk around singing AC/DC songs and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, most of the bands that were in the grunge scene, they were heroin overdoses and suicides and all that kind of thing. And so these elites, they like to engage in activities which aren't musical. You see, so like once they've made their money, they want to go. I want that money in my veins. So there's a few deaths. I think as long as we don't follow the same lifestyles and just like I can't tell people not to become alcoholics. I actually think that's positive advice, but I'm sure somebody would be offended by. How dare you, Britain person, tell me that I can't be an alcoholic? I can be an alcoholic if I want. Yeah, I'm not saying don't drink. I'm not saying don't do drugs and stuff. But you know, if you avoid a lot of those things, concentrate on the things that you were interested in when you first got into music, when you were a teenager, when you first saw the Smiles Like Teen Spirit video, and you thought, I want to pick up a guitar. I don't know what the hell I'm fucking. What the fuck am I doing? I was into sports before, and now I want to be a rock star. If you went down that stayed with that mentality, consistent, you may be rewarded. But if you just get, you know why most bands split up? Alcohol. Young bands. I'm talking the 17-year-old bands that start off. You know, there's those 17-year-old bands that they're doing really well. They've just made an EP and they've all met at college and we're doing really well. And then about a year later, it's like, well, Ian's got a new girlfriend now and like vodka got a bit right and heroin and other things and stuff and sex. Yeah, because you're all virgins before then, Rob, and now you got lots of sex now, right? So when these bands start sort of where you had like a brotherhood or even a womanhood if it's like an all girl band, where it's all about the music, suddenly they get distracted because they hit 21 and now they're allowed to go to strip joints and go to bars and stuff, and they get distracted from the actual thing they were good at in the first place, making music. And this is the thing, you got to stop being distracted. Think of the dreams that you had, making music, making songs and stuff. The reason why lots of these young bands split up is because once they're old enough to drink, they drink like fish, and then they start. Oh, well, I've never done weed before. Oh yeah, you got to try the weed. It'll help your songwriting. And that's what they tell themselves. And when they haven't written a song for like 5 years, but they're high as a kite, and they got the best green ever. And it's like this bud is brilliant. And I used to live next to a coffee shop, but was under a it sold weed basically and coffee, and for 3 years I was probably having what you call a 10 bag every single day. A 10 bag is basically a £10 worth of weed, and I was convinced it was helping my music, but I just turned into a kind of zombie. I wasn't moving forward, and that's what kills most bands. It's all these other factors that come in, like a horrible girlfriend or horrible boyfriend, the drinking, the drugs. The thing that got you into those things originally, the lifestyle, it was the music. And it's so easy to forget that. So you've got to remember the reasons why you got into music, because you like badass riffs and yeah, anything else?
Hey, you mentioned the whole California thing, and I've been to California once, and I had never been to California before. I went the one time, and I decided right then and there, if I never had to go back to that place again, it would be too soon.
Well, I've been like 5 times, and the last time was in 2019, and I didn't like. Um, by that time, I had known musicians there for 5 years because I first went in 2014, and I'd watched them change. And whereas they started off hopeful we're in the we're in California. If you can't make it in California, then you might as well not do it. And then 5 years later, they're starting to, well, I mean, I've always wanted to do that backup plan of mine, yeah. And they started drifting away from the dreams. Well, you're in Hollywood. This is what you wanted, but they they can't afford to live there, and it wasn't what they wanted. It wasn't what they thought it was. A lot of the time, they kind of go, if you had money at the start, that would have helped. So obviously they went there when they were broke, and that didn't help. So I don't want to say the music scene is all about money, right? I've been poor my entire life. Any money I've made, I'm a working class motherfucker, and I've had to throw my money into my music, and I've earned it. But a lot of bands get scared because if they go, we need money to get somewhere. As much as I agree with that, you can break rules, you can make things happen with less money. Like I've made music videos that some people have told me would be estimated as worth £250,000 quid, and I've made it out of nothing. I did a claymation music video recently, and people said, "How many thousands did that cost?" And I worked out how much I spent. It was something like about £600. I got 5 awards with that. And there's record companies out there spending millions on promotion. So they're wasting their money on it. Well, not wasting their money, but like there's always money being spent. It doesn't matter what you could be in the modeling industry, the acting industry, you could be Formula One, a NASCAR driver, whatever. There's always money being pumped into people. You've got your elitist people in positions of power, and you've got the young, poor female or male or struggling musicians that not have a chip on their shoulder. They kind of think, oh, there's no point unless you've got money. I disagree. I was I had a midlife crisis many years ago, and I became homeless. I had nothing, and I started to turn my life around. And I think you have to hit rock bottom to realize what you've got. And
Yeah.
I'm grateful for everything I have now. But I had to hit rock bottom. I had to lose everything before I actually realize what I actually had. There you go.
Yep. Some people do have to do that.
Deep there.
The way that technology is now, I mean, even 5 years ago, you had to spend money to be able to make videos. 10 years ago, it was even harder. I mean, as technology has grown, they've actually made it easier and almost, you can do it at almost no cost nowadays. To make music videos, even to make music, you can do it at a zero cost to be able to make the music, even getting it out onto streaming platforms, having records made, having CDs made. It doesn't matter. You can have everything done at no cost, and then you get the money off of if people buy it. Yes. Yeah, that's the
See,
part is you have to do all the legwork. You have to do all the work in doing it. You have to do it with the albums. You have to do your own artwork. You have to publish everything with your music. You have to mix it and master it yourself. So you have to have a bigger knowledge on it to be able to do it. And Harrison and I both as musicians, that's what we do. We do all of our own mixing and mastering. We have all of our own production equipment and stuff like that to be able to do our own music and to be able to put it out there. So we wind up doing all of the work because we do it at a zero cost. And then after we're done with it, then we go, well, we get paid back for our time if people decide they want to buy it.
yeah, I mean, people have choice, and it's their decision. And
Yeah.
what I do is I try and make things attractive. Yeah, but you can spend lots of money on stuff, and in order to do that, you have to have lots of money. I've made things for nothing. Like you said, things are a lot more valuable now. Now, where I differ from the pair of you is I actually do use studios. I get I get engineers that can do mastering to master our tracks. I go to the other studios to record there. And I've been tempted to sort of do it myself, but what I've tried to do from my point of view is to kind of restore the enjoyment of being in the band. Like going to a studio, it's just wonderful because somebody owns that studio and someone's in charge of it and they welcome you there. You have to spend every bit of money you can to be in that studio with that engineer. And I like the fact that I've invested so much money in myself, and every penny counts. So I'm an artist myself, but I like to pay artists that I like money so they can do what I want faster than I can do it.
Yeah.
So because sometimes it's about speed. Like I know I could, I'm a good illustrator as well, but I could spend weeks doing something where I know someone, like his name's Andy. I go, Andy, you could do this in about 5 hours. How much would that cost? I mean, I'm helping Andy out. And then it's like, I've got an engineer friend, he's called John. I say, John, I could go to your studio, we could get this track probably done this weekend. How much would that cost? You know, and then you have to kind of also try and build families within your independence team. So I'm fortunate to be in a position where I've worked with friends and family and stuff from different people um, to help push my music. I'm a writer. I'm a performer. I write songs. Nobody else writes them for me. But things like the mastering, I would love to give that job to someone that spends 23 hours out of every 24 hours on mastering. Because as much as that's an important thing, I find it extremely boring. It's very important. You got to get your stuff mastering. So when I found out how much mastering costs, I was like, oh my God, I can't afford that unless I do a lot of work. Oh, I do a lot of work. And then I go, right, Zach, how much are you charging for this mastering that you're amazing at? How fast can you do it? And how good will it be? I mean, it'll talk me about what I want and stuff. I mean, you can I go, yes, we're creating a baby. This is brilliant. Yeah, can you do that? Yeah. I mean, they can do it because they're like someone that spends all their time on mastering, and no, they don't spend any time on other things like I don't know gardening. I mean, like I say, if I wanted my gardening done, I get a gardener to do the garden, right? I know I could never go in the garden, and I'm actually right at gardening. But the thing is, I want to get the right people, and they're not going to work for free, and
Yeah.
so it takes me longer, James, to get some things done because I'm having to go through that route. But I'm having so much fun working with people as well because there's an isolation thing when you're doing everything on your own. It can get very overwhelming. So it is actually great to include people in the recording process and the mastering process and the artwork process. Um, I can make really expensive looking music videos for a fraction of the price. So I've got that. Or I can help my other friends out. They can help me with mastering. They can help me with recording in the studio. So we've all got our superpower skills. And it's building friendships through this and helping other people's careers because we can't be just going me, 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 me. Sometimes we've got to do things for other people. But yet you can do a lot of things on your own as well.
Yeah. So we have one of your tracks pulled up right now. This was actually the very first track you sent to us. Um, so it was the first one that I heard, and this was the one when I heard it, I was like, this sounds like Nirvana. I like this. It's
It's a
your song,
massive
Me
compliment.
to
Thank you.
Be. Your song, Me to Be. Tell me a little bit about that song before we play that.
Well, like I said about sharing the process, I've got a Scottish friend, and she said she's called Debbie, and she says she can't write songs for shit. I said, yes, she can. Yeah, because she likes my band, and I says, I bet you could, and she goes, no, no, I can't. I'm not going to do her accent because that'll probably piss off a lot of Scottish people. But She said, I can't do it. I said, well, why don't you write down your thoughts, right, about something? And so she started writing a few words. Right, you've written a few thoughts down, right? Let's see what you've done. I felt like a math teacher in an examination. So I think what you've done there, you're feeling anxiety. So why don't we just make that bit rhyme there and do that? So here you go. We've written a song together, right? And she's like, I'm like, yeah, we've done this. So we've got the words down. So I'm going to put the music. So I said, what kind of song would you like to go with these words? And she said, well, I like to hear a Nirvana song that no one's heard. Right. So I'm going to write that. And then now we've got the lyrics and we call it Me to Be. And she wrote the lyrics. I gave her a hand. But the thing is, it was something that came from her. And she was convinced that she couldn't be creative. I like prove her wrong. So she is creative. At my expense, that I found it funny. But like, it wasn't that I wanted to prove her wrong. I wanted to prove that she could if she wanted to do it. And sometimes people fear the unknown. So I put her through the paces. I said, let's write a song. She basically was in charge of the lyrics. I helped with a few things. And then I wrote the music around it and tried to create a Nirvana song that no one's heard before, which is tough because you've only got the original template and it has to sound like Nirvana, but you don't want to copy Nirvana. Sounding and copying are different things. So that was the challenge. So we
Yeah,
created Me to Be, and that's on the album.
that's awesome. So we're gonna give that song a listen real quick, and we will be right back with y'all in just a minute. This is Week 13's Me to Be. All right, I got the mics turned off on the radio station, but on Twitch, we're still, because we're on video stream on Twitch,
Oh, hi,
it's
Twitch.
they're getting the music and the video feed at the same time.
I think I've got a Twitch account, but I've never used it.
And we do the Twitch that way if people want to see us instead of just hearing us on the radio, they can see us as well. And then we record those and put them on YouTube later. So anybody that doesn't get a chance to hear the show, or if you have fans that you're like, we did a show, it's actually on YouTube, we send you the link and you can send it to your fans and friends and stuff like that so that they can see the radio interview that you had.
That's great. So that means people that would like to see my face, if I email this, I can make them throw up. Brilliant. Let's do that. Let's do it on Twitch. Yeah. I can't wait for them to see my big nose. Brilliant. Let's
Well,
do
we've got
this.
it recording on Twitch, and I've also got the audio recording while we're doing this, also. And that way, because our typical show is at 7 o'clock in the evening, so I'll put this back on at 7 o'clock this evening so that our listeners that usually tune in about that time they can hear it again this evening.
Can you put like a little thing at the start of the show? So we do apologize for this English guy because he just keeps on talking. And we've tried to tell him to stop talking, but he won't. Apologies.
Yeah, we apologize to people all the time for making them hear us and making their ears bleed and stuff.
Thank you for having us on here as well. To be able to talk about music is a pleasure. Thank you.
I love to talk about music. I could talk all day long about music. I could talk all day long about anything. I mean, if you get me going on something, you won't be able to get me to shut up.
Well, let's embrace our 5-hour show. Here it comes. Hope the service can take it.
All right, we're going back live. All right, so that was Me to Be by Week 13. Nick, that, like I said, that was the first song of yours that I heard, and that one I was like, hell yeah, I like this song. And it has, ever since you sent that song to us, it's been on rotation on the radio station, which now we have the 4 songs that we have lined up to hear tonight. We currently have in our rotation. So they play on the radio station every day.
Okay, so if I kneel, whose cock do I have to suck first? Because that's amazing. Thank you. It's I've just got these new knee pads so I should be fine. You know, and I've got a breath mint, so that'll help. No,
We will. We will also, after the show today, I'll be doing some work on the website. We will also have you featured as the featured artist of the week. So on the webpage, people will be able to go there. There'll be links to all of your social stuff. And that way, anybody that
it's
goes to the website and sees it,
it's
they can check you all out on the socials.
it's so emotional. Seriously, I'm taking the piss. Seriously, thank you for pushing our music. That's why we're in this business, and that means a
That's
lot. But
our
you put us in rotation.
That's our mission. What we do is all of these unsigned musicians, the ones that are wanting to have their stuff heard, not the ones that are having their stuff heard that don't really deserve it. We like to, these musicians that are out here that are working their asses off to get the music out there and they're having trouble being heard. Our mission
Yeah,
is to get that sound out there and not just be heard locally, but be heard around the world.
this is why I don't get on with the BBC, and they know exactly who I am, and I like to remind them every now and then. Probably do disapprove of their choices. There is it is very hard for independent musicians to be heard, but it's not impossible. I'll give you an example. When COVID happened, and the lockdown happened, it was like 2000, right? And I was listening to a local BBC station that we have here. They said, "Well, there's no more music being made now, so we're just going to play repeats." And we'd actually just recorded something and sent it to them, and thought, "Oh, they'll get the email," and they'll realise that we made a mistake and there is some new music, you know. And every week I go, no, 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 it's not being played. Yeah. And every week they were saying, no, there's no more new music. It's like, that's a lie. We've just sent you some new music. New means not heard before. This is new. Why are you telling your listeners lies? And they just
Well,
wanted to play what they wanted to
that's
play.
part of the thing with mainstream media is mainstream media likes to push the lie on you to make you believe something completely different. And like when we had the whole pandemic thing, they were pushing it as, oh, it's this, it's that. It was the common cold is what it was. You got the flu, and they were trying to push it. Now people did die from it, but I mean statistically, people die from the flu every year. Also, there's more people that die from the flu than
Some
what
people
there were
die from
actual
eating,
deaths.
drinking aftershave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, some people die from
Well, we
walking down
also
the
had
stairs
that.
backwards.
We also had that thrilling time in history where people were dying from eating Tide Pods. I mean, we we
Right.
proved that
Oh,
that
so sorry
generation
for
was
us.
not the sharpest
Prayers.
tool in the shed.
But yeah, but it was a time where it was technically a reset. A lot of musicians felt they had to go online. So I remember when it first happened is that a lot of the independent artists had this fantastic idea. I know, I'm going to stream what I do. I'm going to sit on my couch. We're all in this together. Get the old guitar out. I'm going to play a 2 hour set. We're going to do this every Thursday. And they'll play, they're on Facebook. They played their 2 hour set. And they'll go, we'll see you next week. And we're going to do it next week. And next week happens. Like, well, I've only got the 2 hour set. So do you want to hear it again? Like, yeah, let's do that. And then the third week is like, well, I don't know. I've run out of songs now. And they basically killed any momentum they created because they promised too much. They promised everyone, yeah, I'm gonna be with you through this. And after about 4 weeks, like, I don't feel like doing it now. So they all stopped doing things, and people just stopped doing things. So I wanted to do things, so I did. And then BBC, going back to them, they weren't playing any of our new stuff. So I thought I'll write something they can't ignore. So I wrote a song and recorded a song called "On the BBC," because that way, when somebody would play the track on an independent station, it would say Week 13 on the BBC. Ooh, picked that out right. Week 13 on the BBC. And that was the song title, you see. So I sent it to the BBC. And the lyrics to this song was me condemning the BBC. I made a music video. I went to London, and this cost lots of money, which I had to work my tits off for. I hired a studio there, really close to BBC, and did a parody version of what the BBC was. Sent it to them. And eventually, this song was played on loads and loads of independent radio stations in different countries, to the point where the BBC got embarrassed, but they felt we were going to have to play this song that takes the piss out of us. So they did, and they played it on one of the main BBC stations. And they were like, ha ha, see, your song doesn't. We've ruined your song now because it's the chorus goes, "I'm never played on the BBC," and we've actually played it. So, and I was like, "Oh dear, oh no, you've ruined it for me now," because the whole point of the song was it's like a Trojan horse, you see. Because you wouldn't play my song, I created a song that said how much we'd never played on the BBC, and you proved me wrong by playing us on the. Oh no! Oh, dude, it's like a proper knife in the old chest there. Yeah, they actually did exactly what I wanted. They're that fucking thick. They played the song, which was taking the piss out of them, and I don't think they understood how satirical it was. In all fairness, but people said to me, "We're never gonna." You're never going to hear Week 13 after COVID and lockdown. You're never going to hear Week 13 on radio again. Well, I'll fucking prove you wrong. So we did. And sometimes you have to do radical things to get those results. So I had to go to London. I had to make a stupid music video in a studio that looked like the BBC studios. I had to spend lots of money and artwork. Um, Mocking the BBC, which is a huge risk because I'm trying to get from as an artist. I thought, well, yeah, I'll make a song that absolutely humiliates the BBC. Well, that song then went on to the BBC and then it got played, which I don't know how still they did that. Because I'm sure somebody says that there's no way we can play the song, it's taking the piss out of us, but they did. And that's sometimes you've just got to be original, think of real creative things, and push that needle forward. Even if people say you can't do, if someone says you can't do something, I think we're just not thinking hard enough.
I'm one of those that believes you can do anything you want to do as long as you put your efforts to it.
Yeah,
If you have a goal in mind and you set out to achieve that goal, you can achieve anything that you want to achieve if you're willing to put in the time and the work to do it.
at the same time, I'm sure serial killers probably say that. So, as long as it's music, like, I don't want to encourage a serial killer to go out there on a killing spree because you can do anything you can. But
Yeah.
you're right. You've got to put faith in your own ideas. You can achieve these things, and it's just about working hard. There's no easy way to say this. You've got to work hard, or it won't happen.
Yeah, you definitely have to work hard at it. Uh, some things you have to work harder at. Some things will actually flow very easily. Uh, Sometimes they'll flow easily in the beginning and then you have to work harder later to keep it going. But everything in life is going to take a little bit of work. If you want to get somewhere with it, whether no matter what industry you're in, if it's in music, if you're an artist making the music, if you're an artist recording the music, it doesn't matter. Anything that you do, you're going to have to put some work into it. You're going to have to put some time into it. But as long as you do that, I mean, art is beautiful. It doesn't matter which way you go with it. Uh, every bit of it is beautiful in its own way.
But
Uh,
what you're doing now is art. So, I
yes.
mean, some people probably go, "Oh, I haven't got the the confidence to broadcast and make my own show, do radio, and talk to strangers, actually strange looking strangers." Yeah, but like you know what I mean. You actually put your mind to it and you make the things happen. And maybe there's some kind of instruction book. If there is, I've never read it. Yeah, but you have to make mistakes, make the rules up sometimes, but you can make things happen. I'd rather be clumsy and make lots of mistakes so I know I've earned it. But I think people get this idea of make it till you make it. I'd rather make it till I fake it because if I'm having to fake stuff, what's the point of doing it in the first place? That's what I used to hear in California. Basically, fake it till you make it. I'm like, why are you faking it? Because then you'll be fake. Was you exposed, and then if you've made it, you go, oh, I was faking it. Well, we're not going to listen to you again. Why don't you make it? And when you start faking it, stop. Right,
Yeah.
that makes more sense. But people want fame too fast, and so they're desperate. I think what you have to do is just have morals and stand by your own principles. I like doing things that make me happy. You know what I mean? And that takes time. And some people went, now, 3 times a day. Well, no, it might take 3 months. I'm prepared to wait for 3 months. So there
Yeah.
is a um not necessarily a sacrifice, but if you have a really good idea, why rush it? You take your time on your own terms, and you will feel a lot better. It's like, oh, but I wanted to get my song out there tonight because it was in my head this morning. Yeah, what if it takes a bit of time, and then it's worth it because you've had more time to spend on it, and then hopefully hits that high that you've dreamed of. I mean, everyone's story is different. I'm very fortunate that I'm sorry, I'm very stubborn. And I take my time. I get things the way I like them to be. Not everybody's. Some people are impatient, you see, so that won't happen to them. But I think being patient is part of the journey.
Yeah. It really is. You have to have patience in a lot of things. You can you can try to rush things and try to force it. And honestly, a lot of that life and everything, if you have to force it, it's kind of like a fart. If you have to force it, it's probably shit.
I did have to force one. I thought you were going to say 15 years for your first fart. So, man, that sounds like some indigestion problem you have there. Oh, congratulations. You know what? It's not even a tragedy. You know what I mean? And I'll tell you why, because like when we were talking with James earlier about when we got into music and started playing guitar, I remember a riff I wrote. It took probably 20 years before that became used in a song in a recording. I think do you know why it took you 15 years? I bet you probably know the answer, but you probably never had this explained to you. There were other things that you did 15 years ago, but that song you wrote, which I haven't heard, it must have been good because you remembered it for 15 years. Because if it was shit, you'd have forgot it. You'd go, what was that song I did? Something. What was it? Was it jazz, funk, rock? I can't remember. No, it must have been good because you had 15 years of memories to get to the point where you can release a song. So, like, it's not. I'm not. I know you're not beating yourself up over it, but if some people they kind of go, "Oh, why did it take so long?" Because it was probably good. I like to sort of perfect my. I've got like a third album I'm writing, and some of the songs on there, there's riff that I've had in my head for 20 years, and it's like this is the right time to use that riff. So it's like it takes as long as it takes. It doesn't mean that everything has to be 15 years or 20 years, but there's no shame in waiting. Excellent. That's what songs do. They help us. They cleanse our minds. You know what? You could write a song called "Fuckface Whore," but if that's the best song that makes you happy, and that's the best thing in the world to hear. Fuckface whore. But I've recorded it at last. Yeah, I've been like I can hear it through a stereo. It's a radio station that's mad enough to play fuckface whore. Brilliant. So they're gonna play back at me. That's therapy. That's winning. That is. So I don't really pay for therapy, but I think music is therapeutic. So 15 years to get that song out of your head, get all the experiences, and then you kind of go, you know what, I could do that again, but maybe I'll do it a bit quicker this time because I know what I'm doing now. And that's the one thing. It doesn't matter how long it takes. There's somebody listening to this show now, and they've probably got an idea of something they've always wanted to do, and they've never had the confidence to do it. But sometimes they have to hear like James, the voice of God, going, "Do it now," and they might be inspired to do it. But people are so put off because of this um, fake it till you make it culture, because they feel pressured that like, oh, you've got to post on TikTok 3 times a day, and you've got to, there's no patience. And the 15 years, part of that is being patient. And then it was created. How many people have said they'll do things? It never happens. Yours did, right? Some people goes, I'm going to be a really good darts player one day, and it's like, no, you haven't even got a pack of darts. You've always talked about it. Ian, you're a shit darts player. You've never even bought a pack of darts. You know what I mean? But I don't know who Ian was. I just made him up. But the thing is, you actually did this, and you'll do it again probably, and you got more to say. And it doesn't matter how long it takes. So I wish I could. I wish I could just shake people. Sometimes you can do things, just do them, right? Believe, except for serial killers. Yeah. Other than that, yeah.
Well, the next song that we have lined up for you is Crisis Actor. So tell us a little bit about that song.
Uh, well, it's a lyrical one for me. I mean, all songs have got lyrics, but this one in particular, I wanted to write a song which reflects the news. And on the news, they'll have a story, a news story, and there's an incident that happens, and they need to have somebody on location talking about that. But imagine you've got like a bomb going off or something tragic, right? Yeah, everyone's they're running. We can't interview these people. Let's get a crisis actor. A crisis actor is someone like a talking head, like our talking heads, who is being paid to explain to the members of the public what's actually happening, which is like a little, well, it's a huge white lie, but basically it's someone that's saying what's happened. You know, I was shot in the head 16 times with an AK-47, and that was pretty bad. Yeah, and you go, what? And you hear these like people on the news, and you realize that they're actors, and there are bad things that obviously happen in the news, but a lot of people don't realize that a lot of news is made up, and they have these crisis actors have to basically dramatize what's actually happened to somebody else. Because the last thing they want to do is go to, oh, we would interview the guy that's been shot 16 times in the head, but he looks a bit rough. Yeah, it's like Hollywood. It's exactly the same rules. They make television. They can't they can't expose the public to the horrible atrocities that happen. So they have to get an actor. Come on, pretend you've been stabbed. And they obviously haven't. And there's what's called duping delight. And they kind of smile as they go, yeah, I was stabbed. Oh, yeah, I was stabbed. Yeah. And they actually let themselves down. So I wrote a song about this. And that's what Crisis Actors is. It's about the way the media companies employ crisis actors to let you know that something bad happened.
All right, well, we're going to give that song a listen real quick, and we will be right back with y'all. This is Week 13's Crisis Actor. All right, we've got the mic turned off on the radio, but we are still streaming on Twitch.
Hi, Twitch. There's nothing wrong with your screen. I shaved half my hair off 30 years ago. Yeah. That's part of the song is writing about the crisis actor, but they stick on TV. And I'm not saying all news is false because that would be a little ridiculous, but there's a large part of it where things don't make sense. And the reason why it usually doesn't make sense is because of an on-site witness that people question. You know, like, that person with the huge bandage with the red dot that looks like it's been drawn on. I don't think they were shot in the head. Is it always shot in the head? I wouldn't do an interview. I'd probably just stay in bed. Yeah. But these people, yeah, I was shot 16 times in the forehead. Yep, it was a real downer. Yeah, and you kind of go, was it? You don't look like you've been shot 16 times in the forehead, you know, and other than you've got like a huge white comical bandage on your head that someone's slapped on. And you watch earlier um, news stories on big events. There's always one person that stands out of it, and it niggles you. I mean, there are agencies that employ people to do these things.
Yeah, a lot of that media stuff is honestly built to just instill fear into you.
Well, fear is good for business. One of the lines of the song, but not good for you.
Fear sells, just like sex sells. If you add any of those two or a combination of the two into anything, which when you add sex and fear together, you get a really good 80s horror film.
You get text when you put fear and sex together. But no, you are right. Um, sex and violence. It usually helps with telling most things. Fear, yeah. News needs it.
Yep. And that was one of the things that the media realized after the first newspapers and stuff like that, and all of the when TV came out and they were spreading the news about anything, they learned that at an early stage that if you try to scare them or you try to entice them with sex, it sells a whole lot better than just feeding them the everyday things that are going on in life.
Well, ever since the Cuban Missile Crisis, people have been on the edge of their seats. Yeah. I'm sure before that you had World War II. So I imagine same rules apply there, really. You look at the past century, it's just been a century of being on the edge of your seat because smart bombs, threats, all these different things, and they are real, but they're not as like down your street like the news suggests. You know, there's a terrorist at the bottom of the hill. Yeah, there's there's ways they can make the viewer feel that every day is a day of terror. But there's always going to be good news, and they put that right on the end of the news broadcast. And also, a little puppy was discovered in a yacht in New York, and that's the end of the news. They'll just end of the news with some nice thing. There's more than that. You know, there's lots of nice things that happen, but they don't want to talk about that.
Yeah. That part of the song where you guys fade down to nothing and then it starts picking back up. The first time I did that, I was like, is there something wrong with the radio station? And I had to look and I saw that it faded out and then faded back in. We're going back live now.
This is why you have people like me make music.
Yeah, it kind of threw me for a loop the first time I heard that fade out and I was like, what's going on? And then I saw that it was coming back in and I was like, oh, it's just a fade down to nothing, and then bring it back.
I just thought it'd be funny, and it just catches people off guard. Also, I really like that guitar riff. I just wanted people to kind of go, man, how self-indulgent that riff has to go. It doesn't need to go on that long. the song finished probably 2 minutes ago. Still going. Why is that riff still happening? Yeah, but I just like that riff. Yeah, but
Yeah, it is a
that's
catchy
the
riff.
power.
So you've been a band for, I'm sorry, my brain, sometimes I get old timers and I can't
I say
remember
from
everything.
2010.
2010,
2010
so
it's been
about
official. So
16 years y'all have been a band. Uh, and y'all have played all over the place, really, haven't you?
well, we haven't played everywhere, but we've got experiences. We like to make things happen. We've made music. We've made a lot of music videos. We've done a lot of crazy things. We just try and make our third album now.
We actually have another band. They were actually supposed to be on last week, but we had a holiday last weekend. So we wound up rescheduling. But they are also a band from the UK. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but their name is Wolf Smoke.
I've not heard of Wolf Smoke, but I think I might have to listen to him now. Because
We
it'd
have
be
them
rude of
on
me
the
not to.
we have them on the station also. I actually think they're our featured artist of the week right now on our webpage. So we've got all of their social links up there right now. But they're a band from the UK that, like I said, last week we were supposed to have them on the show, and with it being Memorial Day weekend, uh, we had completely forgot about the holiday. I had stuff going on with my kids that day and told them, sorry for the mix up in scheduling, but we do have to reschedule, and we're probably going to have them on next weekend, same time, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, our time, um, so that we can talk to them. But I didn't know if that was a band that you had heard of because I know that the UK is not a big area. When y'all talk about driving 2 hours, you all can wind up in another country. I live in a state that's bigger than the UK and the
Yeah, you
US.
can
I actually,
literally drive for 2 hours and get to Scotland. Yeah.
yeah,
Um, but
yeah,
the
I live
thing
in
is, there's a lot of bands
Texas.
here. You've got bands all around the country, like in America, obviously, I'm not trying to tell you how your country works, but a lot of people assume all the entertainment either happens in New York or Los Angeles, but there's always other places that has music. But the UK was always London. And then something happened where people realised that it was a waste of time going to London to enhance your music career. So what happened was everywhere in the UK started doing their own music scene, and nothing much has changed. For some reason, it just seems to be more and more each day. And the result of that is the ruling classes run the music scene in London, and they keep everybody out, keep everybody else like me out of it.
Yeah.
like that's just how the music scene is. So
Yeah,
it's London means London.
a lot of people do assume, and as a child, I thought that all the biggest things either happened in California or in New York or even in Florida, because those were some of the most talked about areas in the U.S. But uh, as I got older, I mean, Slipknot came out of Iowa,
Yeah,
which nobody talks about Iowa really. Uh, Nirvana actually came out of Seattle, Washington. And that's one that's not really talked about. When people think Washington, they think Washington, D.C. Those two places, Washington State and Washington, D.C., are on opposite sides of the country. So a lot of people don't get that unless they're familiar with the U.S.
yeah,
But music comes from all over the place. You got a lot of big bands that came out of Texas, which is where I live at. I grew up in what I call the California of the East Coast because you have California on the West Coast, but on the East Coast, you have Virginia.
yeah.
And Virginia Beach, Virginia is a lot like California.
You
Uh,
got, as in musicians from there?
there are musicians from Virginia Beach and from around the area. Daughtry was actually from Chesapeake, Virginia. So there's a lot of bands and stuff that come out of all areas. It's not just California or Florida or New York. Musicians, they come from everywhere. We know a lot of musicians out of West Virginia and Kentucky. There's been a lot of them that have come out of Iowa. Uh, you name a state, there's a band that has come out of that state in the U.S.
Yes. Well, the UK's got a lot of people. Yeah, I know Yorkshire well. I mean, there's obviously a music scene in Yorkshire, and a lot of people in the UK probably don't even know about it. Because that's the thing. There's all these small independent music scenes happening, and they tend to change every 3 years as well. So there's no like governing body telling everybody this is important in Yorkshire. Everybody needs to know about this. It's down to the bands that can like have the longevity and just keep going because music scenes tend to die after 3 years. So if a band outlives that music scene and carries on, then they're doing probably something right. Like there are thousands upon thousands of bands that were part of a music scene in Birmingham and the Black Country in the past 20 years. But I'd say 99% of them disappeared after 3 years. So like there's always every year there's another. This is going to be a big band. This is going to be a big artist, and after 3 years they realise they can't or won't do it. So I'm fortunate to still be making music, and I hope Wolf Smoke grows and grows. Is it
They
Wolf Smoke?
formed Wolf Smoke. They formed late 2019 and started playing shows in 2020.
They've probably gone for at least two music scenes. One of which was um, sort of sabotaged by COVID and lockdowns. So they're still going after going through lockdown. So that's good. Some people, as soon as lockdown happened, some people go, no, we're quitting, we're stopping everything, and we just cancelled their lives. And I wasn't one of those people, but the fact that they just maintained that, I go, no, we're going to steamroll through this. Just going to keep going. Yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to have belief. Like I said, the media put fear into everything, which a lot of the lyrics to our songs are about how media manipulates human beings every second of every single day. That's the short story of our lyrics, but there's a lot of reality to it. And that's what we like to write about.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about their band yet because we haven't had them on the show. I had to ask them questions like when you sent your email in to be on the show, you sent us pretty much a whole press clip of everything we needed to know, all of your social links, music, pictures. We got it all in one big email. A lot of these bands, we get a message saying, "Hey, we want to be on your show." Okay, tell us a little bit about yourself. Send us some music so we can kind of get a feel for you and give us a little bit more information about your band. And we have to talk with them a little bit more. When you sent in your email, it was like, well, there's really no questions really asked here except what time and what day works for you.
We don't want to waste your time, so we'll. It's a micro version of what a person needs to know. We just get to the point.
Yeah.
Whereas there's probably other bands. I go, what news has happened to us? Well, Barney, our drummer, he's only gone and painted the logo on a blank T-shirt, which is for sale for $5. Yeah, we've got a history. So rather than bore the tits off people, we just get to the point and go, okay, we've done this and done this and done this, and we're doing this now. That's all you need to know now. But I'm quite a confident person. I wasn't born that way. I had the shit kicked out of me for years, but you kind of realize who you are, and I like me. So musically, I'm quite confident. So I can explain what we're doing musically a lot easier than some people. Some people will put it down to the music scene being against them, and that's why we don't talk about it. The music scene's against me, and I talk about it, so I can't use that excuse. But I think being confident is very important in this modern climate. Because if
It
you're
is.
waiting for a handout, you'll be waiting for the rest of your life.
Yeah, you have to be confident with it. You have to be confident in yourself. With the music, you have to be confident in your music. If you're not confident in your music, you're not going to put it out because with any musician, you're your biggest critic.
Yeah,
Out
and
of
you
the whole
should be your
world, you are
biggest
going to
fan
be
as
the
well.
biggest. You should be. When you come out with something and you like the way that it sounds, I come out with music and I will listen to that song over and over again for a couple of days, and then it will continue to be in my playlist of if I'm driving in my truck, that song's going to be in my playlist. If I'm sitting at home listening to music, it'll be in my playlist. I love listening to my own music. Uh, Other people
There's
might
nothing
not
wrong with
like
that.
it, but if they don't like it, fuck you. I like it.
You know what? If you can make yourself smile or happy, just think of the other people that are just like you that would also feel happy and smile. It's not like a radical theory because chances are you have great taste in music, and a lot of people that like that taste would probably enjoy what you do. I tell you what pisses me off. This is the microaggression. This is. Do you have like open mic nights in the states?
Yes.
Right. There's this one guy. I'm not going to say his name because he knows me quite well. I first met him at an open mic night. Lovely songwriter, lovely guy. But when he first started, he got onto the microphone. It's like, I'm going to make up his name for his integrity. He goes, okay, well, next song we've got a guy called Stephen. He's going to get up and play a few songs for us. So Stephen gets up and there's like, oh, give it up to Stephen. And he'll get on the microphone. And go, oh, what's the song? It's a love song. I don't know if it's good enough to be played in front of the public, but I'm gonna have a go. I go, oh, fuck off! I can play it, cunt. Right? Because I tell you what, he's like, look, you've got there. Just fucking play it. We'll fucking tell you if it's shit or not. If it's, I say, if it's a really good love song, what are you actually expecting? You expecting me to might grab my girlfriend and go, hey, honey, hear this love song? This is fucking music. Let's fuck right in front of this guy because it's such a good love song. I fucking feel horny as fuck. Yeah. What are they expecting? I think there's a little bit of false um like false embarrassment. Oh, I'm a bit scared. You're not scared. You've come with a fucking guitar. Fucking plug it in. You've even written lyrics and you've even learned how to sing them in key. Don't waste people's time. Fucking get on there. Show people how fucking good you are. Don't stop with pretend bullshit. Yeah. Sorry. Out.
I agree completely with that. The next song that we do have lined up on the track is Vaccine, and being that we were talking about COVID and everything, I'm assuming that has to do with the jab.
Well, I wrote that in the year 2015.
Oh, so that was actually written before COVID.
It's almost like I knew this whole thing was going to happen. That's impossible. That's what we're going to say.
So, what were you thinking when you wrote that song?
What, me? Oh, I don't know. I just imagined that somebody was going to invent some reason to close the world down for a stupid reason and to create false narratives and make people like sheep follow the herd. I, yeah, look, everything I wrote about that I could see coming a mile just happened to happen 5 years after the song I wrote. Yeah. Unfortunately, the song didn't get recorded until probably into COVID, but I actually wrote it in 2015. I could prove that because I've got a really shit version of me playing that song on an old phone clip where my hair's red. And I remember I had my hair dyed red in the year 2015. So that's the only reason why I know the year. But no, I'm not going to call myself a genius, but I predicted this because it was fucking obvious. Like, so, I'm not going to call myself a genius over it. I just think anybody with a rational brain could see what was happening. And unfortunately, there were too many people jumping on the bandwagon. And that song is a reflection of what actually happened.
All right. Well, we're going to give that one a listen real quick, and we will be right back with y'all. This is week 13's vaccine.
If you're watching live on Twitch, you can see three really sexy men. So enjoy it. There's a little music in the background by week 13. So stick around. More to come.
Yeah, when I heard the song, I thought that you had wrote it about the whole vaccine thing because that was sending everybody in a scare out here that they were telling you if you didn't have the vaccine, you weren't going to be allowed to work. And during the whole COVID thing, you had to be an essential worker in order to go to work. And if you were an essential worker, you had to have a document from your DMV or licensing area to be able to put a piece of paper in your windshield so that people knew you were an essential worker and you were allowed to be driving around.
Similar thing happened over here as well. I'll tell you
When
what
they
didn't
started talking
happen.
about, oh, you have to have the shot, and I was like, no, I don't. I don't have to have anything. You want to give me a shot? I'll give you one too, about 45 calibers.
I don't know to this day whether they gave loads of people a placebo or something else. And maybe we'll never know.
Well,
But
after they started doing the whole jab thing, then the videos started coming out that if you got the jab, you had about a 5-year timeline that you were going to die if you had gotten that shot.
some
And
people
there
got through
was,
that, but there's
after
probably
three to
people
five
did die.
years, after 3 to 5 years, there was a large increase in people dying that they called natural causes.
Yeah, sounds a bit like bullshit to me. Yeah, but of course, I wrote a song in 2015 after hearing a Bill Gates speech. What do I know? I used to do a lot of research, and I could see the tide changing. Um, People like Bill Gates were very verbal back then about what they would do if a sorry, did I say pandemic? Sorry, pandemic. I accidentally said pandemic then. That was a mistake, obviously. So that plan, oh, I've done it again. I said the word plan as if it was planned all along. I keep saying that. I keep trying to say pandemic, but I keep saying pandemic by mistake because the two words are quite similar to each other. Pandemic, and the other one, pandemic, which is wrong. Of course, it's wrong. How could I
Of
have written
course.
a song about a pandemic in 2015 when there wasn't one? I mean, it's it's almost as if it was planned.
Well, I mean, we've been watching movies about it for years. I mean, Resident Evil was kind of the same thing.
Yeah,
It was just a virus that was released, and the world went to zombies. And I, I was one of those that thought the zombie apocalypse is going to happen soon.
I thought it was for a while, but then the Resident Evil films got so ridiculous that I thought if it does happen, it's stupid. And I like the first few, but they just got stupid after a while. But they got it back on track now.
As they tried to draw it out and add to it, they added too much to that.
Yeah, it was getting to the point now. There was nothing that the main character couldn't survive. You know, you could probably shoot a bazooka at her head, and she'd find a way to
Well,
survive
it
it
wasn't
somehow.
even about her surviving. They had come up with a way to clone her. She died at the end of every movie, and they cloned her back.
Oh no, that wasn't her. That was someone that looked just like her that died in the last film. Yeah, no, here's the real one. She's hiding in his wardrobe. It's like, yeah. But yeah, the whole virus thing has been a narrative in Hollywood films for many years.
All right, so that was Vaccine from week 13. Uh, I like the beat and the groove behind that one. That riff is a catchy riff also.
Thank you. I do like my riffs. I also like to pretend I'm in the Who. So writing riffs like that is where I will swing my arm um, with doors closed and stuff and pretend I'm a member of the Who. Or I just want a nice, dirty, sludgy rock star riff, and that's the best I could come up with. So there you go. A pandemic. Sorry, I keep doing that. A pandemic. I wrote in 2015. It wasn't planned. Yeah. Can I say that on radio? I can. Yeah, I can say, but I wrote a song in 2015 about something which actually happened 5 years later, which was not related to the song I wrote, because how could it?
Yeah. Yeah, you can definitely hearing y'all's music, you can hear your influence from that 90s grunge rock era. You can really hear it in your music. And I like that because, like I said,
Thank you.
I was inspired by that type of music when I was 14, 15 years old, 94, 95 area. I was real big in the grunge scene, and the band that I was playing for was a grunge band. I grew up, my dad, a redneck and a country boy. He was always, hey, you need to do country music or do southern rock. And I kind of compromised with him. I did my style of music, but we named the band Southside Rebels so that it sounded more like a southern rock band, but we
But
had
yeah,
more of a grunge music.
it's like I'll dress like Johnny Cash, but I'm actually going to play like Eddie Vedder.
Yeah. My
I
dad
think
was my dad was very supportive of my music. He was the one that gave me my first guitar when I was 5, and then when I was
wow,
12,
five.
yeah,
Wow,
when I
that's
was
awesome.
when I was 12, he was like, "If you graduate this year, if you finish this grade and move on to the next grade, I will give you my Les Paul electric guitar." And I was like,
Wow.
"Okay." And I passed by the skin of my teeth, but I passed and got that Les Paul guitar.
I thought you were going to say I passed, and then Dad said, "You thought about having a Kramer." Like,
Well, see,
maybe,
I
maybe
made a
not the Les
mistake.
Paul.
I made a mistake. I had a guy that he played guitar also, and he had a guitar, and it had a Gibson uh, sticker on the guitar. And I was young and stupid. I thought it was a Gibson guitar, but it was actually a Silvertone guitar.
Oh no way! So
Which
you were fooled by the Gibson sticker? Oh no way!
so I saw the Gibson sticker, and I traded my Les Paul for that Silvertone.
Oh no
And then
way!
when my dad found out that I did it, I think he wanted to kill me at the time.
But an easy mistake someone could make. But I've got these new Week 13 more bridge magnets that I could stick on someone's guitar and say that I've got a personalized Week 13 guitar. But I'll make it stick. But that would be bullshit. But I'm sure I could get somebody to believe that. But I don't want to follow the same traits that media organizations follow. It's subjective to bullshit. I like to tell the truth. I
Yeah,
like the way you guys talk about the truth. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
after I really found out about what I had gotten and realized what it was that I had traded because I didn't know much about the Les Paul guitar at the time. It was a guitar to me. And trading it, I didn't know what I was trading it for. And after I actually found out what I had traded it for, I'd already gotten another electric guitar. I had an Epiphone Strat style guitar,
All
and
right.
I was playing a birthday party on somebody's patio, and we were really getting into the music. And I'd taken my Epiphone guitar off and strapped on the Silvertone guitar and kept on playing along. And at the end of the song, I just completely smashed that guitar on the patio.
You know, I've only smashed one guitar, and I honestly can't remember why I did this, but I remember how great it felt. You know, it was because it was a guitar which was shit, which is why it got smashed. But I don't like the idea of smashing guitars, but if it's a shit guitar, then it deserves it. When you
As
said
the
you grew up with the grunge scene, do you remember a band called? Do you remember a band called Grunt Truck?
No.
I guarantee, if you got onto Grunt Truck, you go, "Where the fuck have I been?" Right? Because if you're at 93, 94, 95, they didn't quite make it in the MTV universe. I think they got one of their videos played on Beavis and Butthead, but that I think they made one album. I don't know much about the band's history, but I think the singer passed away or something. But if you like your grunge, check out a band called Grunt Truck, and I think it's Grunt Truck. Yeah, Grunt Truck. But there's only one T. It's Grunt Truck. I guarantee you'd like it if you like that kind of music.
All right. Yeah, I was real into the grunge scene. I mean, I listened to Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains. I was into Soundgarden, all of the bands that were considered grunge music at the time, and that was the scene I was into. And it started changing a little bit when I started listening to stuff like damn, what was the name of that band? Uh, I got them right on the tip of my tongue right now. Also, they
Does it
did that
begin with
song.
S?
They did that song. You got to keep it separated.
Oh, Offspring.
Offspring. Yeah,
I've actually seen
my
Offspring twice. I don't like them.
my my style changed a little bit when they came out. I liked their first album when they came out,
Yeah,
and
Smash. Brilliant.
yeah, and then after that, getting into the high school era, I was getting more into Metallica and Megadeth and Pantera and getting more into heavy metal and stuff. And that was where I started to lean with my music uh, at that age. So, I mean, I started out with the grunge and hard rock and then moved into heavy metal. And now I have a wide range of music that I like. I mean, I listen to everything from country to jazz to hard rock and metal, and my musical palette is a pretty good palette now.
That's good. I see. I like to listen to a lot of different styles of music. But when I first started, um, I was more into the kind of pop stuff like Elton John or Queen, things like that. Then somebody introduced me to Judas Priest, and I got one of their singles. It was Touch of Evil, which I think is terrible. But at the time when you were a kid, you go, "Oh, what the fuck's this? This is like dark." And then somebody said to me, "Have you heard of Iron Maiden?" I was like, "No." I saw the album cover, and then that I was at school at the time, and then that dinner time or lunchtime, I bought every single Iron Maiden album there was. There was about eight at the time, and as much as I liked them, I went back home, and that week I listened to Iron Maiden, and I made the discovery that almost every single Iron Maiden album sounds exactly the same, but the really cool artwork was what really got me. And then I got into Megadeth. I got into Metallica stuff, but it was Megadeth I've got to thank because they created the best thrash metal album ever. When I heard Hangar 18, the single, I got that album, and that to this day I think is one of the best thrash metal albums there is. It just the guitar work ridiculous. And then I got into Metallica, did the Let's Buy Every Metallica album there is, and then I stuck with those guys for a bit. I formed my own covers band, which was basically a band that played Metallica songs. Like, we were a covers band at high school, and it's like, oh, what songs do you play if you're a cover band? Well, there's Enter Sandman, Sad But True, wherever I may. Oh, so basically the entire set that Metallica play. So why don't you call yourself a Metallica tribute band, but call yourself a cover band? And the band lasted about 2 months because that's how long high school bands usually last for. Those that got heavily into Nirvana, and like I said, the grunge scene was very important, and I learned a lot about music from watching Alice in Chains, and Pearl Jam to begin with, and a lot of those types. And later on, it turned to like Korn and Pantera. Obviously, Vulgar Display of Power, one of the best rock albums there is, really.
I've
But
been to see Korn twice, and Pantera is actually from close to the area where I live at in Texas.
nice. I mean, everybody knows Dimebag story and how he passed away and stuff, but it's a laugh really, and they were great musicians working together in the early days, and then tragic events happened later. But that album made so many people's necks stronger, because I remember I was a naive teenager, and we're a kitchen where my family were, and it's like, don't be too far away because we're going to call you for a lunch soon. It's like, all right, mother, I'll be in my next room, and I just made sure I my little stereo there. And I was like head banging away to Vulgar Display of Power. I've got enough time to hear the album twice before dinner is served. So that's an hour and a half of headbanging. Brilliant. Let's do it, right? And you just have a broken neck. You just turn up at the dinner table. Yeah, I'll have some roast potatoes. Yeah. What's wrong with your neck, son? "Oh, I was just checking out Pantera. It's fine. Yeah. So they're really good at strengthening our neck, Pantera. Gotta give them that
Yeah, I
one.
can't tell you how many times I've had whiplash.
Yeah. Blame Pantera. I thank Pantera. He did it.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
actually, my dad was completely against me listening to heavy metal. Whenever I had bad grades and stuff, he was like, he blamed it on the music. He was like, your choice of music is what gets you bad grades. No, it's not. It's because I don't pay attention in class. But but the first metal CD that my dad ever got for me when CD players first came out, he got me two CDs. He got me an Eagles CD and he got me a Megadeth CD, and the Megadeth CD was Symphony of Destruction.
Who will win? That
Two
was a
very
landslide
good
victory for
bands,
Megadeth.
two completely different genres of music, but still, again, both of them very good bands. I've always been a big Eagles fan. I like their music also.
Well, even though I was listening to sort of likes of Pantera and Megadeth and Biohazard and Korn, I was also drawn to artists like Jimi Hendrix. And there's a live album called Hendrix in the West, and he does a version of Johnny B. Good. It's one of the best covers ever. It's live, and it's probably one of the best live performances ever put to a record. And I grew up with a lot of great guitarists around me. I mean, not everyone's into Eric Clapton, but those people did things which inspire people. That's why people know their names. And Eric Clapton, I think, was big because he had a band called Cream he was in, and some of their songs still to this day played by countless cover bands and tribute bands and stuff because they were really well written songs, and they probably created most of the rock bands that we love and know today.
Yeah. Uh, they did have a lot of really good music. Cocaine, Lola, a lot of them.
Lola, you mean,
Green
you mean Layla?
or
Who's
Layla,
Lola? Oh,
sorry,
that's the other girl. I didn't like Lola as much, so I wrote about Layla instead.
like I said earlier, I got that old timers thing going on. My brain is mush a lot of times. But
Oh, dude,
yeah,
I'm
Cream, they
with
had
you
a lot
there.
of
I'm
good
in my
music.
50s now.
But they had a lot of good music. And Jimi Hendrix, when I was a teenager, I was a big Jimi Hendrix fan also. And when he
Isn't
did
Spanish Castle Magic heavy as fuck?
when he
Uh,
did his live version of the national anthem,
and
uh
Machine Gun, right? When he does Machine
yeah,
Gun, how fucking heavy is that live? That's like heavier than grunge, but in the 70s. Doesn't make
yeah.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, when I saw him do the national anthem, I was like, I got to play the national anthem like that. Uh, Jimi Hendrix was an inspiration. I had a lot of inspirations when I was a kid. I mean, Guns N' Roses were also an inspiration. I was a big Slash fan, and I wanted to be able to play lead guitar like Slash played.
See, I always liked Guns N' Roses, but I wanted to play rhythm guitar like Axl Rose. Because when I read the credits for some of my favorite songs, it was a Shotgun Blues. I think the other one was Bad Apples. I remember those tunes. I looked at the credits and it was like, I thought, I might be wrong about this, but I'm pretty certain. Axl Rose played the guitar on those tracks. That's my favorite ones. And Shotgun Blues is just the best punk song um, they ever did, which wasn't punk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they're obviously a rock band. But I knew they had their punk influences, but Shotgun Blues was, I think, the best Guns N' Roses punk song they ever wrote. Forget the spaghetti incident because I don't think that
Oh,
counts.
when Spaghetti Incident came out, I was not happy with Guns N' Roses at all.
Yeah, same
I
here.
loved Appetite of Destruction. I loved Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. But when they came out with the Spaghetti Incident, I was like, what the fuck were you thinking?
It's just some. I mean, it was a mess, and if you think spaghetti by its very nature is messy, they kind of nailed it. I just didn't
They
want to
nailed
listen to
it
it.
as the album title. They sure did.
It was a mess, but they should just call it that mess. Guns N'
Yeah.
Roses mess. But for the Usual Illusion albums, pretty much they inspired me to do a double album one day, and I did about a year ago. And the second album we released, it took ages because we were self-financing it. So I wanted about 14 songs. Um, and this album, which we have, got a bit dark here, a bit there. To all the people on Twitch, you might be able to see this. It's actually 15 songs on the album version because there's one song with swearing which we can't put on Spotify. The reason why we did it is because I thought, well, Guns N' Roses did it, and it would be great if we could do that. I couldn't release two double albums because I haven't got fucking much money, so we did the one, and now we've done one, and we're gonna make another album, and it's just very big inspiration, Guns N' Roses, because you listen to those two double albums, you've kind of got. It's almost like they have one album of really good rock heavy songs, and then another album of ballads, rather than release them separately, they just mixed them up and thought, yeah, let's just, let's just mix them up. And I think they're both brilliant albums for different reasons.
Now, I just thought of something, and it's completely off the topic, but it had just popped in my head, and if I don't say it now, I'll completely forget it. One of the things that I wanted to ask you was, with you being on the radio station, how was it that you heard about us?
That's a very good question. I'm just trying to make sure I give the correct answer. I think I came across you through Facebook. I think
Okay.
so. I am trying to remember. I think it was Facebook. It's like we both said about our ages. I am now 50, so boy, my brains are what they used to be. But
I
yeah,
I don't think
it was Facebook.
I don't think I've asked that question to any of the bands that we've ever had on here, is how did you hear about us? Uh, but
I'm
being
pretty
that you
sure it was
are over in
Facebook.
the UK, um, like I said, we've had Wolf Smoke reach out to us, and we've had you reach out to us, and those are the only two bands that we've had outside the US that
What?
have
Man, we
hold of
need
us.
to
So
shake these fucking bands up. Get them the fuck over here, right? So they can realize what the fuck they're missing. Fucking idiots. That's what they are. I'll send
yeah,
you some fucking bands.
if you do know any other bands that want some radio time, let them know to get a hold of us
Do I
because
know the bands that need radio time? You want to feel like shit on the floor? How easy is it to say the word yeah? Yeah, I can send you too many bands that you wouldn't want to play. I actually know a lot of really good bands. I'm happy to send them your way, and I hope they give you the respect you deserve because you guys have been very nice to me, putting up with my lengthy conversations. Because when I start a sentence, you've obviously noticed now. You realise it might take 10 minutes before I stop, which is terrible in radio. It's
Well,
going to
we
stop
do
me.
have one more track lined up for us before we do get to the end of our show because we are coming up on 2 hours. But we're going to talk a little bit about this song before we play it. Your
You thought I
government,
couldn't make 2 hours. Yeah, I'll teach you.
your government. Tell us a little bit about that song.
I don't believe in the left and right paradigm. So if people kind of say, "Oh, I'm a left person," and some people goes, "I'm a right person," yeah, there's only one problem. What? When I said left, I was holding my right hand. When I said right, I was using my left. Oh, that's confusing. It's almost like they're both the same thing. Just we sort of divide people in half because really most people have the same attitudes and opinions, just some more volatile than others. I think your government, which is a song, it's kind of how we give power to the powerful, because even though any government could arguably, I say the word arguably, any result if they wanted to, arguably, but not that that's possible. That's like magic, yeah. But like to say in a hypothetical world that that was a possibility, which obviously isn't. Satire. Let's just say that like a lot of left thinking people, a lot of right thinking people are probably the same people. It just depends on what the circumstances are that hired them up. For some reason, some people just go, "Oh, when I go on the street to the big sign going, fuck you." Well, that could be a left person and a right person, but there's obviously something that triggered them to make them do that. So they've probably got a lot in common. You imagine the left people and the right people, the right, like, oh, you came with signs as well. Oh, so did we. I mean, they were kind of against you, but like, well, how
They
weird's
all
that? We
they
both
all
came
run.
out with signs, one hating the other. We must have so much in common that we both had the idea to do that. Why don't we go? Why don't we just talk this through and get on? And
They all have the same agenda, just different angles of achieving that agenda and arguing with each other about the approach on that agenda. All in all, they're all running for they're doing the same thing. It's just how they're going to do it.
also, I'm not mentioning a particular government. I mean, arguably, we could speculate that all governments get on. We just like to believe they hate each other. And let's just make the public think that governments go to war against each other, kill their people, or voters, and speculate that governments aren't what we think they are. So the song "Your Government" is a little political hot potato. So that's what it basically is. I I could basically have the song "Your Government" offend a left person and a right person. I could also make a left person happy and a right person happy. And how can I do that? How can one song make both people happy? It's almost like left and right doesn't exist.
Yeah, we're not going to get too far into politics. That's one of the things that we do try to veer off of, because uh, that is a subject that, I mean, it can create a whole lot of drama that is not even needed. So we try to steer away from the politics, but with it being part of the song, that's okay. We can talk about the song about it. But
I don't like politics either. And I don't
yeah,
like falling out with people over it.
when
Yeah.
it starts getting political, it starts getting into a mess, and uh, that's just drama. I'm not. There's not enough nicotine and caffeine in the world for me to put up with that.
Yeah, there's only so many dead brain cells I'm willing to sacrifice. but people do get really excited by these subjects,
They do.
and I don't know why. I don't know why. There's so much better things you can do with your life, you know.
And
I'm
there
not
are
saying that's still
podcasts
protesting, yeah.
there's podcasts and everything that are completely politically based that they do a really good job because of their talk on politics. I don't want to be one of those. Uh, that's more leaning into the mainstream aspect of things because, I mean, let's face it, mainstream is another form of politics.
Yeah, we're to controlling. Sorry, did I say the word controlling? Um, Not what I'm suggesting that the media is controlled and manipulating the people all 24/7 hours of the day, or 7 days a week, and so is the news. And I'm not going to say that, and all that the government happens to be running that, and they're in charge of it as well. And I just keep on, I just keep on saying the word pandemic. And what's going on? You know what? Be real. There's so many negative forces in the universe. I like to write about it and make something positive happen.
Yeah.
That's my take. I haven't written a political song. Politics exists. I can make fun of it. I can also praise it if I wanted to. I have no wish to praise it. I don't like politics. I think it kills friendships. It divides people. This is your government.
Yep. That and religion, you bring those two things into it and it can cause a whole lot of problems.
Wait till I
But
do my Jesus song. Sorry.
we're gonna go ahead and give a listen to the song "Your Government" because we are approaching time, and I know Harrison's got a long drive to do after we get done with the show today. So we're gonna play this one, and then we're gonna wrap things up. So this is week 13, "Your Government."
And if
All
you're
right.
on Twitch, you've noticed the lights are starting to fade because in the United Kingdom, it's getting darker. So we have to have a fake light to make Nick look like he's not in the dark.
That's what 10 p.m. there where you're at right now.
At 10 p.m., I haven't got a clock near me. I'm just having too much fun chatting to you guys, really. So I don't care what time it is.
Yeah, it's only 4 o'clock here right now, p.m. So we're in the hottest part of our days right now. And when I say the hottest part of our day, uh, I don't know if you know the difference of Fahrenheit and Celsius, but it's 94 degrees out right now, which
We're having a heat wave in our country at the moment, and part of me, even though I don't believe it, I don't want to go.
it's about 35 degrees Celsius out right now.
Damn that climate change. I mean, it's like, damn you. Not making things nice. Like, damn you, climate change, for making the garden grow nice. Yeah. I mean, it's terrible what's happening. It's like nice hot weather. I mean, you kids these days know how bad it was and how bad climate change is for making the grass go fast. Uh, yeah, we got it pretty hot over here too. I don't know what the
Yeah,
salt
where I
thing is.
live at, we don't really have a whole lot of the grass stuff. I live in the desert, so
Really?
we stay hot out here, and we go usually about 100 days of no rain.
Wow, that's pretty intense. We've got Americans over here, but when they experience the new British climate of hot weather, we have a different heat to what you guys have. I've only experienced Californian heat, but 100 days without rainwater? That sounds like a challenge. Jesus. We must get huge thunderclaps. You know?
When we get storms out here, we get real bad thunderstorms. We
Yeah.
get hail out here that's about the size of baseballs.
But it's been 100 days. Time to take it out on you guys. Here's a few baseballs. Like here's our response. So you can have
And
your
usually when that
wet weather
happens,
now.
we wind up having tornadoes and stuff like that.
We don't get many tornadoes over here, but I mean, I think we probably will do because that damn climate change just keeps making our grass nice and our garden's great, which we all hate this damn new climate change for making weather good.
So that was your song, Your Government. Another one has a catchy tune to it. I like it.
Thank you.
Uh, Unfortunately, we are going to have to go on ahead and wrap things up. It
Oh, and
has
there's
been
me
great
thinking
having
you're looking for a 5-hour show. Yeah.
it has been great having you on here. And as we do with other bands, we do want to give you an open invitation to come back, uh, have a chat with us again. If you have a new album coming out, we do album releases and stuff like that. We had Divinities on here a couple of weeks ago. We released their new tracks that were coming out in their album. So we were the first ones to play it live on the radio.
Oh, that's
So
great.
we do give you an open invitation to come back. We can set up another show with you sometime and have a chat with you again and get into some of your other music and talk about some of your other songs and stuff like that and upcoming shows and stuff like that that you have.
I'd be very honored and thank you for that invitation. And I will accept it, but I won't abuse it. I will come back with something worth talking about. That's the best way, yeah?
Well,
Otherwise,
Nick, it
I'll
has
just
been
give you on
great
you every
having
week.
you. Nick, it has been great having you on here.
Thank
I
you,
like
James.
having people on here that they're not afraid to talk. We have had some on here that it's kind of like, okay, we're trying to get the conversation rolling, and where do we go now? And having people on here that they are very open and able to talk about things, it's nice. It keeps the show rolling really easy,
You
and
haven't got to
that's
have that problem with me, James. I'm not going to shut the fuck up, but I mean, other people can.
so. It has been a pleasure, and we will be hearing from you again soon. We have all of your social media stuff. We're keeping up with stuff that y'all are doing and everything, also. So we'll keep up with you, keep up with us, and we'll try to set up another time to have you on here again.
Well, James and Harrison, I'm Nick J. Townsend. I've just been on the radio. Thank these fuckers.
Well, it's been great. I hope everybody out there that's listening has a great evening. This show will be back on this evening. We do have it recorded, so we will be playing it again this evening. So, y'all take it easy and have a good night.